Hello everyone, the December Review here, back again with the latest and final chapter recap of the Little Voice TV show's first season. Once again, make sure to head on over to apple.com to check this and many other shows out for yourself. If you haven't already, now is a great time to jump in and binge all 9 episodes straight through. So for this video, I'm not going to just yap about what happened and then give a few thoughts at the end. This one will be a bit more of a total recap from where things started to where they finished after one season. I will say that the final episode got my eyes welled up a bit here and there, but thankfully it was mostly due to joy versus hardship. Sure, there were some tough choices made in the finale, but coming out of it, I was left with a much more sense of hope than anything else. Oh, and we also get Sarah Bareilles on screen and some Feist music, but more on that later. As we entered the final show, Percy had disappeared and Mom had popped back into Bess and Louie's life. Sing What I Can't Say starts off about a month after the end of the last episode. Dad is still missing, but Mom has managed to gain some trust with her kids. I had a theory that Percy entered a rehab, which would be resolved down the road. With the 30 or so days time jump here, I was half expecting my guess to be correct, and we would see him again. But he was kept off screen. This allowed to showcase Mom for a while, and what an emotional roller coaster that brought to kick the episode off. She seemed to have gotten on enough of Bess's good side to entertain the idea of giving up music as a career for good and moving out of the city and back to her place for a while. Even Louie seemed like a change of scenery wasn't out of the question. The three of them start filming a Louie vlog together in a busy, high foot traffic area. As Louie's voice creeps louder and the more spectators take notice of the events, a frazzled Mary starts to lose her shit, imploring Louie to settle down. The tension builds as Mary eventually slaps Louie across the face. We cut to the three of them in a diner as Mary breaks down, explaining the real reason why she left all those years ago. It seemed this wasn't the first act of violence towards Louie. She would get angered and lash out, making Louie promise to never tell anyone that she hit him. She begs for forgiveness, clinging to the hope that they will spend some time together at her location. A very ticked-off Bess tells her that Manhattan is their home and that her, Louie, and Percy built the family together, and that basically she isn't needed there. It's as emotional as the series has got so far. As a viewer, I felt captivated by the moments that played out. Mary's ideas never seemed to gel with Bess's goals. Plus, she was played with just enough of a smile to never really be trusted. Did she return to become the mother she wasn't, or was it all just to make herself feel better from the guilt of leaving in the first place? There seemed to be some common ground early on when the two discussed Percy. This type of disappearing has happened before, something that was obviously tough on Mary and played into her leaving the first time. That's understandable and as close as we get to any sympathy for her. So for now, she is banished back to her Lakeview home. After the diner scene, we get Bess leaving a voicemail for Percy, which had me gasping for a moment. So Mom is back out, and Dad is still gone, but the show must go on. We do make some headway in the Prisha department here in the finale. Bess and Prisha's bond is as strong as ever here, as the pair have a few moments together to drive that home. Early on, Prisha helps out with the dog walking and also imparts some valuable advice at the time about Mary. They also circle back later when they both confirm their sisterhood to each other. That was a wonderful moment, and a needed one for Prisha because she finally started to break down the family wall a bit in episode 9. There's a scene with her sister where she confesses to not being in love with Sandeep and that she loves someone else, and then comes out to her. I'd say it was met with a mixed reaction, certainly not the way Prisha was hoping for, but not a catastrophe from what I could tell. She is one more step closer to the eventual talk with her parents. As I expressed before, I assume it will go a lot better than Prisha thinks, but this moment did just enough to make me wonder now on my own expectations. I just want to say what a fantastic role Louie is on the show. simultaneously bringing love, drama, and humor to the proceedings, usually all at the same time. When we first met him, he was unsure about taking the next chapter in life with his new living arrangements. Over the course of the season, he managed to inch closer to independence while still being part of the emotional centerpiece to Bess's world. That's no easy feat. For the finale, Louis gets some big moments involving his mom and their secret. His love for Broadway carried a wave of hope with it whenever it popped up throughout the season. To close things out, we get a little Fiddler on the Roof in the beginning, and the season ends with Louis and his friends reenacting a scene from Hamilton. Great stuff. With so much ground already covered, we can't forget about the relationship situation Bess has found herself in. We last left things off with her telling Ethan off after appearing to be the one for most of the season. Samuel was never too far behind, though, literally. I mean, he is in the band. But Bess's wall did seem to break a bit recently towards him, at least accepting his multiple offers to help her out. The episode builds towards an open mic where Bess will get to perform again in front of an executive that Benny put together. As Bess and Sam wait for their turn, ever so slightly and uncomfortably close to each other, Sam makes his move as they are called up, laying a kiss on Bess, who seems more than ready to reciprocate. The moment is cross-cut with Prisha and her girlfriend, previously at odds, in the audience doing the same exact thing. It's a heck of a scene. But no time to figure that shit out because it's showtime. All the pieces seem to come together. Bess nails some stage humor and they roll into a song, and yep, they play Little Voice. I got the chills when it started, and it was such a symmetrical moment. So of course the power goes out, dashing Bess's stage dreams once again. But this time she carries on, going off mic. Sam grabs an acoustic as they finish out the song with the crowd going nuts. Our executive jots down her name on a napkin. She's in. But so is Ethan, as we cut to him coming through the door towards the end of the song. So for now, the relationship side of things ended perfectly. Ethan is off to the side while Sam seemingly has won Bess's heart. It's hard to tell 100% since they didn't get a chance to talk about things, but the moment and the show ended off with hope. Hope for the music and hope for the future. Speaking of music, as I mentioned before, we get Sarah B. herself on screen in a quick, cool moment. Louis sees her on the street and goes all waitress on her, manages to get a quick interview in for his vlog while bright-eyed Bess thanks her. It was fan-damn-tastic. Soon after, we are treated to the wonderful Feist playing on the soundtrack. The song was I Feel It All, and I highly recommend searching her on YouTube immediately if you aren't familiar with her music. I assume anyone watching this has, but just in case, Leslie Feist is a true gem of a musician. There's a great pro shot live version of Caught Along Wind out there, which is phenomenal. I highly, highly, highly recommend checking her out. So that pretty much covers most of what went down with the final episode here. I want to give a huge thank you to everyone who managed to indulge me with these videos along the way. I've been a big Sarah B fan for a long time, and as I put this channel together, I figured I would want to cover the show in some way. I didn't expect to take on a recap of every episode, but hopefully there were a few out there to appreciate it. I also hope I didn't detract from the show itself, which is why I always mention Apple right off the bat each time. I've been going over plot lines and such, but I've always stressed that it's a show that must be seen and supported. I'll probably change things up a bit for Season 2, but I will definitely continue to cover the show. And what a show it is. Sarah, JJ, Jesse, and everyone else involved really brought their A game. The score is amazing. Obviously, any Sarah original music will be, but also the other songs brought in to complete certain moments were great as well. Plus, the special guests up on stage at the bar sprinkled in throughout the season were very fun surprises to check out each and every episode. Brittany O'Grady deserves a standing ovation for her work as Bess. The entire cast does as well, but she really gets the whole world thrown at her with each episode. For every sliver of tranquility, well, we were met with a cloud of despair. For every time she was Disregarded came a moment of inspiration and hope. And Brittany carried the waves brilliantly, not to mention bringing truth and a great voice to the music. Overall, the show did a great job exploring the many, many aspects of life. There were times where it really seemed like Bess was going to break, and she kinda did, but the show stayed true to the reality that you can dust yourself off after a fall. From alcoholism to relationship expectations, family dynamics, and being true to who you are and career decisions, Little Voice carries a loud message. So that will put a bow on Little Voice Season 1. Time now to go back and watch it all over again. From what I've read in interviews, Season 2 is a go, but obviously current real-world problems have everything on hold for now. Hopefully it won't be too long of a wait, but not much we can do but continue to stay safe during this unexpected world crisis. And for that, I am grateful to have the show around when we did for a nice distraction from current events. So, until next time, it's just my little voice that I've been missing.